And I'm
Are we almost ready?
So you cook it.
Okay, kick it off. We're recording.
Good morning. As y'all know, I usually don't come to these Monday morning meetings. Typically leave it up to y'all to do what you do best, which is worry about right now, and let me do what I do best, which is worry about 5 years in the future. I've heard from multiple of y'all how it's harder out there, so I thought it was a good time now to discuss about where the company is, where the company's going to go. Think back 1 year about what y'all did concerning your own personal buying habits. Think back 2 years. This year we've seen a unique perspective into the mind of the consumer. It started in November with words coming from Warren Buffett as the Pearl Harbor of economic situations. We've consistently over and over heard Great Depression, Great Depression, Great Depression. We've naturally seen a contraction inside our industry. What we used to do then, we can't do now, and we have to plan for the future accordingly. So here's what we're going to talk about. Right now we're in a tougher market. There used to be retail giants such as Staples and Office Depot, independent dealers such as Vitek and CPI, but now we've came to a new competitor, and that's the U.S. government. Unfortunately, every week it seems you hear something about the market, something about a 1% contraction inside the gross domestic product, and you've seen such a pullback today with the consumers that unfortunately is starting to affect how our bottom line is looking, as you've all seen it with your commission checks. The old strategy, how we used to attack individuals. The retail giants, we consistently promoted our service and the overall pricing structure. As you know, people would call into customer service lines, maybe not get the one-on-one service that they're used to. They didn't have y'all as dedicated sales reps coming out and actually doing inventory. Also, with their overall pricing structure, you saw real aggressive pricing with maybe the first 100 items or so, but then you saw as an overall structure, they were kind of pushing it up. With the independent dealers, we focus more on pricing and the longevity of the company. Pricing, as you all know, was not one of the independent wholesalers' main goals. They would consistently quote and then raise and raise and raise is what we would call a bump matrix. The longevity, as you all know, have been in the business for a while. In the 1980s, there was 20, 25 or so dealers. Slowly shrank down to about where we sit at now, which is 8. And the news was non-existent. Nobody cared about it. You would just go out and buy. You bought on credit. It wasn't unusual with the manufacturers at that time to have net 60, net 90 terms. Unfortunately, as you've all seen, we've come to a new strategy. Retail giants, we no longer can promote overall savings. They go direct on everything. We use wholesalers. Now, it's better for a company to reference wholesalers, but you don't get as good a pricing. They've consistently dropped all their pricing across the board. So overall pricing, we just can't do it. So what we got to do now is promote service. Service, service, service. We have the same customer service reps as we have. We haven't laid anybody off, and we still have you guys. You guys are very important into the service side. We got the same driver that are designated to them, and don't forget the same-day service. The same-day service is something that retail giants don't do, and that's something that can elevate us to the top. Independent dealers, again, has not changed much pricing and longevity. The pricing structure has changed a little bit. With the toners now, you see the independent dealers basically selling those at cost and practically giving the paper away. You'll see this in the next coming slides. But we haven't done that yet, and there's a reason why. We consistently run a 12% margin off the toner business. And when you factor in the delivery and pulling in from the wholesalers, we basically were breaking even off toners. So pricing is still at the point that we can do is what we've seen with them is they've actually bumped even higher off their matrices where now they're actually doing it above the list on many items. Longevity is a big deal with this. As you all know, I went out 2 weeks ago to meet with the Trammell Pro CFO, and we looked at the particular balance sheets. This is a very important deal with the independent dealers, as what started out in 20 in 1980 was 10 in 1990. We've had about 8 good ones, and we've seen 4 of them drop the first quarter, 2 have been bought out. We have changed on our situation. Where we were getting points in the back end at the front of the year, I've met with our wholesalers, and instead of doing that, we've got negotiated pricing where we've gotten down. So we've actually increased our liquidity. So we're okay on that side. There's no worries in that. So be sure to promote longevity. We're not a mom and pop shop anymore. We're strong. We were at 15 million. We'll still be at 15 million. Profits have gone down, but with the fourth quarter, we see a tick up of the phone calls and the orders. We should be okay. So again, longevity is not going to be a problem. News. Guys, we can't compete with the news. When Walter Cronkite's on TV, Dan Rather's on TV every day telling this, we cannot, there's nothing we can do as a whole. As an individual, however, we can attack that, and we will. And we'll go into that in later slides. As you've all come up to me and I've seen emails wondering about your margins, where have they all gone? It's a common question. So I was going to talk to you a little bit about this now. As you see, in 2008, we as a company ran a 29% gross profit margin off of 15 million. That's 1.5% over the national independent dealers. Paper was at 60%, which is right on cue with most of the nationwide. Again, with retail giants and with us. With technology, we ran 15%. Now keep this in mind, because this is going to change a little bit, and this is going to reflect on what we discussed earlier with the independent dealers and with the retail giants. Furniture, we've been at 10%, and accessories, as you know, the highest profit margin, we were at 15%. Now, 2009, it's changed. Paper, you see, it bumped up to 70%. The reason it has bumped up, overall, it's the same kind of items, but everything else has dropped, so paper has thus increased. Technology has bumped up, has lowered down to 10%. What this means from the 15% to the 10% is that 5% that's missing, that's where the HP toners and the other toners have been. So, where you see with independent dealers, they were dropping it, selling at price. You see it with the retail giants stopping and lowering it and dropping it in price. We have been slower to do that as a company. You've seen kind of a drop, so you will, each and every one of you, begin with your individual sales manager, and we'll be looking at your particular accounts to see what customers have left due to this fact. Future opportunities. What we are going to be doing is top 200 items. As you know, from me not being able to get back to you on emails as rapidly, on phone calls as rapidly, I've been in meetings and meetings and meetings, negotiations. While I haven't brought anyone back from North Korea, I have gotten you better pricing. So, we're going to be pulling in more stuff into stock, which is going to be able to increase the margins. We're not going to base this off future sales, as we're slowly going to move away. However, right now, for your commissions, it's going to be okay. And we're going to be increasing our advertisement budget. While we can't do what the news consistently telling you that we're in the Great Depression, we are going to promote more weekly and monthly specials. So that's where we are with each and one of your helps. I'm sure we can do it. Let's focus. Let's have a good fourth quarter and a great 2010. Thank you. I go over 8.